fail, that's on everything. Either we gon' stand up for something or fall for anything. Death in prison, our only option, we don't wanna change. If we stick together, we can do anything. I'm sick of seeing my people fail, that's on everything. Either we gon' stand up for something or fall for anything. Death in prison, our only option, we don't wanna change. Don't let political views or your religion separate us. We got a common enemy and it's evident that they hate us. This system they designed, it was strictly for your failure. They ain't gon' teach this in the school, it's deeper than what they tell you. Just cause your tax bracket higher, they don't look at you no better. No amount of money won't make them see you as just a nigga. What's our status as a people? Comfortability might mislead you. Had you thinking cause you got it good, we peasants ain't you regal. Our selfishness is lethal cause it don't address the evil. Community lacking leaders, how they gon' know if we don't teach them? How they find better ways to reach them? Let the kids know we need them. Cause our future on the line and it's time to tilt the needle. Can't be hollering about you woke but ain't invoking no change. Keep doing the same thing but want different results, that's insane. Sleep the cousin to death, you playing a dangerous game. I'm trying to shake you from your slump, it won't be long till it's too late. If we stick together we can do anything. I'm sick of seeing my people fail, that's on everything. Either we gon' stand up for something or fall for anything. Death in prison, our only option, we don't wanna change. If we stick together we can do anything. I'm sick of seeing my people fail, that's on everything. Either we gon' stand up for something or fall for anything. Death in prison, our only option, we don't wanna change.
Others standing over graves, we're being treated just like slaves. From the womb to the tomb, this has got to change. Mothers standing over graves, hey look, are you adding to the pain? From the womb to the tomb, this has got to change.
If we stick together we can do anything. I'm sick of seeing my people fail, that's on everything. Either we gon' stand up for something or fall for anything. Death in prison, our only option, we don't wanna change. If we stick together we can do anything. I'm sick of seeing my people fail, that's on everything. Either we gon' stand up for something or fall for anything. Death in prison, our only option, we don't wanna change. Who you is, where you from, what's your nationality? You say you black, but ain't no land of black you purposely deceive. You're more than the color or the name of a landmass. Those are proverbs and bywords hiding well hid fast. You don't never wonder why everyone else emulate us. If we knew who we was, we wouldn't let them intimidate us. We're historically the chosen, it ain't hard for us to trace it. Gotta tap into reality and think outside the matrix. Just look at how we excel through hell but still prevail. No other people on earth can attribute this to themselves, but we expected to succeed with these unbalanced scales. Look at how far we come even though we've been set up to fail. Imagine what we can achieve when we gather ourselves. Oh, what a tangle where we weave, only worry about self. Sound alone, the time is now, ain't no waiting for help. It take a village, we the village, we can do it ourselves. If we stick together we can do anything. I'm sick of seeing my people fail, that's on everything. Either we gon' stand up for something or fall for anything. Death in prison, our only option, we don't wanna change. If we stick together we can do anything. I'm sick of seeing my people fail, that's on everything. Either we gon' stand up for something or fall for anything. Death in prison, our only option, we don't wanna change. Nobody told me that this road would be easy. So if somebody told you that, then don't believe them. Nobody told me that this road would be easy. So if somebody told you that, then don't believe them. Gotta be refined like silver. Through the fire. Gotta be tried like gold. Through the fire. Gotta be refined like silver. Through the fire. Gotta be tried like gold. Through the fire. You ain't fighting the flesh just cause you giving in. Should've never started the race if you ain't intend to win. Adversity can destroy you or be your best friend. Just cause you fail one time don't make you less than. You just gotta be aware and correct your error. Messiah on the way back, I feel it in the air. Trying to inherit the kingdom, wanna be your fellow heir. If you bring nothing to the table, can't pull up a chair. When I rebuke you, his love is just just because I care. Plus when the separation happen, I don't want you to be a tear. You think you ain't gotta do nothing to get eternal life, but that misapplication of grace is a total lie. Gotta be refined like silver, through the fire. Gotta be tried like gold, through the fire. Gotta be refined like silver, through the fire. Gotta be tried like gold, through the fire.
Been through the fire like a circus lion, I ain't lying. You can ask a lion to Judah. Fire on me, but it ain't consume me. But burn the porch, hallelujah. Sing fame, gold and silver. Tried in the fire, not a pretty sight. That's how you get Israelites claiming that they no longer is the Israelites. It get hard sometimes, but growing up with me ain't good doing. I heard the devil was on the job, but I care more about what y'all doing. Shine your light here, influence. Big brotherhood, big brother the hood. If we separate from us all bad, then it's nothing left, but it's all good. I lost everything in my life. Matthew 16:25. If I can do it, you can too. It only take a mustard seed of faith to thrive. Hell nah, it ain't easy, but it's no other way. Y'all's way, y'all was the way, y'all way. Hey,
gotta be refined like silver, through the fire. Gotta be tried like gold, through the fire. Gotta be refined like silver, through the fire. Gotta be tried like gold, through the fire. Nobody told me that this road would be easy, so if somebody told you that, you don't believe them. Nobody told me that this road would be easy, so if somebody told you that, you don't believe them.
Shalom, family. One of the most important things is for us to be holy. Now, what does that mean? That means we have to separate ourselves from the world and build unity and community. Grab yourself a shirt that expresses that message, and let's not just talk about it, let's live it.
Ain't no free will, it's all predestinated. From every death to every child brought forth through copulation. From the spouse that you choose to your current occupation, you either receive mercy or your hour's indignation. I can recollect on times that I could have been dead. Caught lacking, no strap, I had a knife instead. Played it cool, he wanted to kill me for how I used to move. Had to match his energy, portray that I was strapped too. But inside I'm praying to God, hoping he don't shoot. Then I'm whooping, telling him I know what he won't do. Have you been washed by the blood? Have you been washed by the blood? Has he made you brand new? Has he made you brand new? Have you been washed by the blood? Have you been washed by the blood? Has he made you brand new? Has he made you brand new? From all of your filth, he cleaned you up. He cleaned you up, yeah. Was sentenced to death, he raised you up. He raised you up. Yeah, you was a mess, he made you up. He made you up, yeah. In bed with your sin, was slay to her. Slay to her, yeah. Embrace you with such an amazing love. Amazing love, yeah. Exalting his name, you raise it up. You raise it up. No matter how much you praise, can't praise enough. Can't praise enough, yeah. He said, Hamashiach been washed by the blood. Have you been washed by the blood? Has he made you brand new? Has he made you brand new? Have you been washed by the blood? Have you been washed by the blood? Has he made you brand new? Has he made you brand new? Have you been washed by the blood? From all of your filth, he cleaned you up. He cleaned you up, yeah. Was sentenced to death, he raised you up. He raised you up. Yeah, you was a mess, he made you up. He made you up, yeah. In bed with your sin, was slay to her. Slay to her, yeah. Embrace you with such an amazing love. Amazing love, yeah. Exalting his name, you raise it up. You raise it up. No matter how much you praise, can't praise enough. Can't praise enough, yeah. He said, Hamashiach been washed by the blood. Has he made you brand new? Have you been washed by the blood? Has he made you brand new? Have you been washed by the blood? It ain't for everybody. It ain't for everybody. Salvation. It ain't for everybody. It ain't for everybody. It ain't for everybody. the king. It ain't for everybody. Salvation ain't for everybody. It ain't for everybody. Yeah, many you call, but few get chosen. Matthew 22:14. My righteousness gonna exceed that of the Pharisees. Do what they. Shalom, 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 family. Shalom, I.
Hey, shalom, King. Shalom, family.
So first we want to start off as we always do by giving all praise, honor, glory to the Most High, whose name is Yahweh, and we do so by Shem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. I'm your brother Hurt, and tonight's lesson is wait. Was Christ buried for 3 days and 3 nights, or for just 3 days? So all praise, honor, glory to the Most High. Pray that the Most High is allowing everyone that's within earshot of the message to be edified tonight, and I pray all is well with everyone. So I'll praise to the Most High. Ak, you have anything you want to add?
No, not too much. Just the usual. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to share. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so that you can stay tapped in with all of the drops, whether it be the live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or even Saturdays, or the various uploads that occur on the channel. But yeah, just the usual reminder. Looking forward to the lesson, man. So I get out the way, man.
God, all praises. So I have an announcement for someone it's a brother that's going through a hard time right now. And I'm going to read to y'all what he's asking. So he said, I'm asking for my family to help me out with my situation. Ever since I had a heart attack, and I have something called a PE. It stands for pulmonary embolism. It should have took me out, but all praise to the Most High that I'm still here. And it's been kind of hard on me trying to get bills and food and other things taken care of. So it'll be a blessing for the family if they can donate. And this brother, this is a brother that goes by the name of Big Country the Hebrew. He produces music in the Israelite community, and he had a heart attack a while ago. I remember when it happened. And so he hit me up, and he was just telling me that he's been having issues lately, getting food and stuff. So, if it's on y'all heart and you want to donate, I'm going to place his Cash App in the chat. Let me try to copy this message and edit and copy this Cash App, and I'll place it in the chat. And if it's on your heart, give, according to what the Most High may be leading you to send to the brother. But yeah, he definitely, I can vouch that he's not like just trying to run a scam or something, because I'm familiar with other people that know him and know he actually did go through this situation. So, and he seemed genuine. He video called me a couple days ago. So all praise to the Most High. If it's on your heart to help the brother, Cash App's in the chat. But that's all I have to begin the lesson. Well, as always, like we always state, if you haven't already, go ahead and like, share the video. Also comment. It helps trigger an algorithm so other people can be able to get this content. And if you've already done so, we definitely appreciate you. We always appreciate those of you that do it faithfully each week. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell so you don't miss the alert for when we go live. See a lot of people coming in late now. Maybe you don't have the notification bell, or maybe you do, you just seeing it. So the notification bell does help a lot. Sometimes it comes late. Sometimes it won't come as soon as we start the live for some reason. I just know that from, seeing it myself, because it'll come to my YouTube channel also, or to my phone. So all praise to the Most High. Ak, you got anything you want to add to anything that was said before we get going?
No, nothing to add, man. All praises to the Most High.
Khan, all praises. So without further ado, y'all, we'll go ahead and get to it. Ak, you can get your screen shared, and I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all are familiar with different scriptures, that say 3 days and 3 nights. So you're familiar with the argument of 3 days and 3 nights, or just 3 days. We're going to look at the text. We're going to see what the text says. We're going to deal with what's written, and we're gonna come to a solution and a conclusion today. I'm pretty sure Aki has the same stance I have. So at the end of the lesson, throughout the lesson, he'll provide his take on it if he can, if there's anything to add, because this is gonna be a straightforward lesson. So we're gonna get straight to it. And we're gonna start in Matthew chapter 12. Y'all, we're gonna start with the first verse we're gonna grab is the verse that's in question that makes people question this stance and believe this stance. But we're gonna get, the sense. So let's go to verse 40.
So book of Matthew chapter 12, verse 40. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
All praises. So this is why some would believe that the Son of Man or the Messiah was actually in the ground, buried for 3 days and 3 nights. But the problem comes in when we read other verses that don't say 3 days and 3 nights. It may just say 3 days or after 3 days. And we're going to look at a couple of these examples. All right, let's go to Mark chapter 8, verse 31.
The book of Mark chapter 8, verse number 31.
You must be having a little issue screen loading.
Yeah, it's taking a minute to buffer. So this is the book of Mark chapter 8, verse 31, and it reads as thus. And he began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected of the elders and of the chief priests and scribes and be killed, and after 3 days rise again.
So after 3 days, he would rise again. This one doesn't say 3 days and 3 nights. Let's get another one. Mark 9 and verse 31.
It's the book of Mark. It's the book of Mark chapter 9, verse number 31. And it reads as so. For he taught his disciples and said unto them, the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of men, and they shall kill him. And after that he is killed, he shall rise the 3rd day.
So he's going to rise the 3rd day. And this is coming directly from the Messiah's mouth. So this makes you really question Matthew 12 and verse 40. And was that a literal, should that be interpreted literal, that for 3 days and 3 nights that the Son of Man would be in the earth or in the heart of the earth? Is it actually going to be 3 days and 3 nights? Or is it going to be like Mark 9 and 31 says, that he's going to rise on the 3rd day? So we're going to come to a conclusion with this. So let's go to Acts 10 and 40.
Yes, sir. So Acts 10 and 40.
Yes, sir.
It's the book of Acts chapter 10, verse number 40. It says, him God raised up the 3rd day and showed him openly.
Hold on. So this is a witness, y'all. This is a witness from an apostle who was present around the time that this happened. And his account, his firsthand account is saying God raised him up the 3rd day. He raised him on the 3rd day and showed him openly. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 15. And I'll read verse 3 and 4. If you're reading, you're on mute, King.
Hey, pardon me, I was having some technical difficulty. It's it's the book of First Corinthians, chapter 15, verse number 3. For I delivered unto you first of all that which I also received, how that Christ died for our sins according to the scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he rose again the third day according to the scriptures.
So we have 4 witnesses. So every matter is established after 2 or 3 witnesses. But we actually have shown 4 witnesses that subscribe to the third day that the Messiah had rose, right? So this begs the question of, well, what does Matthew 12 and 40 mean? Why does it say 3 days and 3 nights? And we have all these accounts that say the third day. So I'm going to read something for y'all, because what this would be examined as and counted as is a Hebrew idiom. And a lot of y'all probably may have not heard about a Hebrew idiom. I'm going to read the meaning of a Hebrew idiom. And it reads, a Hebrew idiom is a phrase or expression that conveys a figurative meaning entirely different from the literal translation of its individual words. These sayings rely on cultural context and are found throughout both the Hebrew Bible and everyday Israeli conversation. Now, I'm going to give y'all an example. It says, examples in everyday modern Hebrew. Lachzor Likayan. Literal translation, to return to life. Actual meaning, to return to normal after a chaotic event or a long absence, similar to getting back in the swing of things. Literal translation, on the face, El Hapanim. Actual meaning, something is terrible, a disaster, or went completely wrong. Ka Basret. Literal translation, living in a movie. Actual meaning, being completely out of touch with reality or having unrealistic expectations. Ish Kayal. Literal translation, man of power / army. Actual meaning, a capable, brave, or virtuous person. Yeled Shashuim. Literal translation, child of games / pleasure. Actual meaning, a beloved child or the apple of one's eye. So just so y'all can see what a Hebrew idiom would be, and these are examples. So it's something that would be said as counting the part as a whole. So when you see the 3 days and 3 nights in Matthew 12 and 40, it's counting the part as a whole, because he wouldn't actually be in the ground for 3 days and 3 nights, but he would be in the ground for a piece of 3 days, which, counting the part as a whole, you would say 3 days and 3 nights. Sometimes this is how the Hebrew language works, and we're going to get some examples of this. And Ak, if you want to make a point, you can before I go forward to these examples.
Mic check. How's my mic sounding?
Sound good, King.
Okay.
Grab something too. I'm right here though.
All praise to the Most High. Yeah. Just also to give another example, because when you read throughout the Tanakh or the Old Testament, you have throughout from Genesis all the way to Malachi, a myriad of what are classified as ancient Hebrew idioms. And one example would be throughout the scriptures, like in Kings and Job, I think it mentions it in different places like that. It utilizes a phrase which is to gird your loins or gird up your loins. And the literal meaning would be, because you go into loins, this would more than likely be connected to the privy member. But the point of what's being conveyed is to get ready. So it's nearly because like oftentimes we utilize sayings like this. It's nearly what's understood as a euphemism. Like you're utilizing a phrase to convey a particular point in a particular way. So case in point, you have like a job and you have the manager or the boss or whatever the case is, and they're like, well, you know what, hey buddy, I need you to come to my office, got to speak with you. And then they're firing you, but they say to you, we're deciding to move in a different direction.
Con.
That would be a euphemism, or that would be idiomatic speech. And like if you take that literally, that would be a funny thing to say, because it's like, okay, well, you're deciding to move in a different direction. Okay, that's all right. Well, what direction are we moving in? But it's like, no, they're telling you that they're getting rid of you, and that they're doing something different, with the status of your employment there. But they didn't directly say, hey, we're firing you. They
Right.
utilize a different way to say it. So we see all of that through the Bible, from Genesis, even within the book of Revelation, because again, a lot of the writers that are responsible for the New Testament text, they are Hebrew and Aramaic speakers. So you see the ideology behind how they write things. So you'll even see Aramaisms and Hebrewisms. So like even when John says something like, God is able to raise up these stones and to make a people out of them, that's not like a literal conversation that's going to take place. Like God's not going to be like, okay, well, I want to do away with my people Israel, and I'm going to have these rocks be my people. Like, like some people, they'll say that, like, yeah, that makes sense. He said the rock is going to cry out for me if you won't cry out. Like they would take that.
With the eyes on in the mouth.
Right. But like, some people, they go that far, but these are like these are examples of idiomatic speech and idiomatic phrases. So I just wanted to just make that quick point, but you got it, King.
Beautiful point, Art. And I think the way that Art laid it out, this, when you think about it, like it would be considered wordplay. And who got the flyest wordplay on the planet? Y'all already know. Who comes up with the coolest sayings that everybody wants to, copy? Whether it's in the northern region of America, so this would be like New York. Hey, yo, son, what's up, B? You calling somebody your son, but you don't literally mean they're your son. Or even down south, when it comes to down south, what's up, my boy? It's different lingos that it's an idiom. It's not a literal. You're not literally calling that person that thing, but it's a way of playing with words. And of course, we know, like, you got a lot of our people that are in music industry, right? Whether it's rap or it's singing, some of the things and the sayings they come up with, a lot of the things that people do everywhere around the world comes from our people. This is more proof that we are the people of the book, because all through the Bible, you see idioms, you see a way with words, a play on words. So, all praise to the Most High. Con, I remember October, they call people dummy. It was stupid. Down here, you gonna in the South, it be like, what? Who you calling a dummy? Who you calling stupid? Then at the same time, we down south, we call things stupid that are actually good. Like it's a guy down here that sell food. He sell wings and fries, and he got some fries he called stupid fries. Do he literally mean the fries are stupid? No, but he's calling it stupid because he's putting so much stuff on it, and it's actually good. But yeah, that's it. But all praise. We're gonna get into these examples of idioms in scripture that's dealing with this 3 days and 3 nights. So let's go to Genesis chapter 42, and let's get verses 17 and 18. Right. Sister Wendy calling a good looking female, but man, she back. God.
The book of Genesis, chapter 42, verse number 17. And he put them all together into war 3 days.
Genesis 42 and 17 and 18. So like
18. Pardon me. Verse 18. And Joseph said unto them the third day, this do and live, for I fear God.
Con. So 3 days. It says in verse 17, and he put them all together into work 3 days. So this would, when you read this, you would assume it would be 3 full days, right? And in the context of modern day, you would assume 3 days equals what? 72 hours or 3 24-hour periods. But verse 18 said, and Joseph said unto them the third day, do this and live, for I fear God. So this was on the third day that he was allowing them to go forward, and they moved past what was going on in the context. So 3 days does not always equal 72 hours. 3 days does not always equal 3 separate 24-hour periods. Let's go to Esther chapter 4, verse 16 and 17.
Oh, sir. It's the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse number 16. Go, gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast. Likewise, and so will I go unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish. So Mordecai went his way and did according to all that Esther had commanded him.
Con. So it says, go gather together in verse 16, all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days. So don't eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. So the assumption would be, okay, 3 full days, day and night of those 3 days, right? It says, I also and my maidens will fast likewise, and so will I go in unto the king. So the point is, before you go into the king, or before he goes into the king, or Esther, Salaki, before Esther goes unto the king, she's not going to eat or drink. Fasting for 3 days, night and day. It says, so Mordecai went his way and did according to all that Esther had commanded him. Now I read the next verse, which is in the next chapter, Esther 5 and verse 1. And shalom, brother, Mr. Charlie, brother Abraham. Shalom, King.
It's the book of Esther, chapter 5, verse number 1. Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house, over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house, over against the gate of the house.
Con. So Esther goes in unto the king, but it says on the third day. So has it been 3 days and 3 nights? Has it been 3 days that were 3 full 24-hour periods? No, it wasn't. So that's a Hebrew idiom. When you see that it speaks of 3 days and 3 nights, it's not always literally 3 days and 3 nights. It can be, like I said, with the Hebrew idiom, you can count the part as a whole. And like Brother Aaron said, Christ says it's 12 hours in a day in another context, right? And he's just referring to daylight. That doesn't mean that it's 12 hours in a full day. That just means it's 12 hours of daylight. All praise to the Most High. Let's go to Exodus 19. I think I'm pulling that scripture. Exodus 19, verse 10 and 11.
Yes, sir. It's the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse number 10. And the Lord said unto Moses, go into the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the third day. For the third day the Lord will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai.
All praises. So it says, and the Lord said unto Moses, go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the third day. For the third day, the Lord will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. So right here we see on the third, they're supposed to be ready against the third day, or ready for the third day. And on the third day is when the Most High will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. So we know this is going to happen on the third day. So sometimes when you see this 3 days, it's not referring to actual 3 full days. It can just mean on that third day that something's going to happen. So all praise to the Most High. Let's go to Luke 13. I don't have that scripture, but I got something else in Luke chapter 13, verses 32 and 33.
13:33.
32 and 33. Come on.
Yes, sir. It's the book of Luke, chapter 13, verse number 32. And he said unto them, go ye and tell that fox, behold, I cast out devils, and I do cures today and tomorrow, and the third day I shall be perfected. Nevertheless, I must walk today and tomorrow and the day following, for it cannot be that a prophet perish out of Jerusalem.
Con. So on the third day, he's going to be perfected. But on the third day, it says, nevertheless, I must walk today and tomorrow and the day following, which is the third day, for it cannot be that a prophet perish out of Jerusalem. But on the third day, he's perfected. But that's the end of the third day, whenever he accomplishes what he needs to do on that third day, not after the night falls and it goes into the fourth day. And Ak, if you want to add something, you can.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about like verse number 32. You see, Christ is talking about Herod in the context. Because some Pharisees came up to him and said, Herod was gonna kill him, but pardon me, unalive him. And verse number 32, Christ responds and says, go and tell that fox. And this is actually a derogatory term that Christ is utilizing. But today, people will utilize the term fox, and will, like, some men will call certain women that, and it'll be a positive thing. So just again, another figure of speech, or another expression, if you will, that can go one way or the other depending on the context. So, matching the theme, but you got it, King.
Con, all praises. So now, y'all, we're gonna look at the actual crucifixion account and calculate it to see and make sure that it was that the Messiah was buried for 3 days, not 3 days and 3 nights. So let's look at this account. Let's go to Mark chapter 15. And let's read verses 42 through 45 first.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 15, starting at 42. And now, when the even was come, because it was the preparation, that is, the day before the Sabbath, Joseph of Arimathea, an honorable counselor, which also waited for the kingdom of God, came and went in boldly unto Pilate, and craved the body of Jesus. And Pilate marveled if he were already dead. And calling unto him the centurion, he asked him whether he had been any while dead. And when he knew it of the centurion, he gave the body to Joseph.
Con, all praises. So in verse 42, it says, and now when the even was come, because it was the preparation, that is, the day before the Sabbath. So the day that the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, or who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, the day that he actually dies is the day before the Sabbath. It's the day of preparation, which was the 14th, which is what we know as Passover. That's the day that he would have passed. It says, Joseph of Arimathea, an honorable counselor, which also waited for the kingdom of God, came and went in boldly unto Pilate. So he went with urgency and craved the body of Jesus or Yahushua. So the reasoning behind him craving the body is because, okay, the Sabbath is about to begin. And what do we not do on the Sabbath? We don't do any work. We don't, engage in anything that's, work based. So he's also passed on this day. So this is the day that he has to come off of the cross and be buried. Verse 44 says, and Pilate marveled if he were already dead, and calling unto him the centurion, he asked him whether he had been any while dead. And when he knew it of the centurion, he gave the body to Joseph. So it talks about Jesus dying in the 9th hour. The 9th hour would be around 3 o'clock in the evening, or afternoon, Salakia. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because the first hour would begin at 6 o'clock in the morning, based off of daylight, kind of pursuant to what Ak was saying. Like there's an account where the Messiah says that there's 12 hours in a day, and he's just speaking of daylight. But let's continue reading. Let's read verses 33 through 37. Read 33 through 37. We'll come back to 46.
This book of Mark chapter 15, verse number 33. And when the 6th hour was come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Elo, Elo, lama sabachthani, which is, being interpreted, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? And some of them that stood by, when they heard it, said, Behold, he calleth Elias. And one ran and filled a sponge full of vinegar, and put it on a reed, and gave him to drink, saying, Let alone, let us see whether Elias will come to take him down. And Jesus cried with a loud voice and gave up the ghost.
Khan, all praises. So I just wanted that to be read just to back up what I was saying about him dying at the 9th hour. And it says in verse 33, and when the 6th hour was come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. So for 3 hours, there was darkness until he passed away. And let's continue reading. Let's read verse 46 and verse 47.
This is Mark 15, beginning at verse 46. And he bought fine linen and took him down and wrapped him in the linen and laid him in a sepulchre which was hewn out of a rock, and rolled a stone into the door of the sepulchre. And Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Joseph, beheld where he was laid.
Khan, all praises. So Joseph of Arimathea is an honorable counselor, right? What we see in verse 46 is he purchased fine linen and took Hamashiach down. So we know if it's the Sabbath, Joseph of Arimathea is not going to purchase fine linen. So he purchased this fine linen and he wrapped him up and buried him on the day of preparation, which would have been the 14th. So we're counting the part as the whole. So the first day of burial was what? The 14th. The next day will be the Sabbath. This is the day before the Sabbath, but we're going to continue going so we can get the full story about how long he was actually buried. So this is the last verse. Give me Mark 16, 1 through 7. And I'm going to let you add on to this whenever you feel free.
You got it, King. 1 through 7.
Khan.
This is the book of Mark chapter 16, beginning at verse number 1. And when the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, and Salome had bought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him. And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came unto the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. And they said among themselves, who shall roll us away the stone from the door of the sepulchre? And when they looked, they saw that the stone was rolled away, for it was very great. And entering into the sepulchre, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, clothed in a long white garment, and they were affrighted. And he saith unto them, be not affrighted. Ye seek Jesus of Nazareth, which was crucified. He is risen. He is not here. Behold, the place where they laid him. But go your way, tell his disciples and Peter that he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him, as he said unto you.
All praises. So the first verse says, and when the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James and Salome, had bought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him. So we know the Sabbath is past. That was the second day. It says, and very early in the morning, the first day of the week, the day after the Sabbath, they came into the sepulchre at the rising of the sun, and they said among themselves, who shall roll away us the stone from the door of the sepulchre? And when they looked, they saw that the stone was rolled away, for it was very great. And entering into the sepulchre, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, clothed in a long white garment, and they were affrighted. And he said unto them, be not affrighted. Ye seek Jesus of Nazareth, which was crucified. He is risen. He is not here. Behold the place where they laid him. So he has risen on the third day, as the scriptures say that we read, or after 3 days, he has risen. But these 3 days that he has risen after were not 3 24-hour periods. We read that on the 14th, the preparation day, he actually was put in the ground at the end of the preparation day. So there wasn't a full day. It was just a part of a whole. That's why it's counted as 3 days. It's counted, the part counted as the whole. So 3 days we see 14th, 15th, 16th, or preparation day, Sabbath day, first day of the week, the day after the Sabbath. And if you want to add something, you can.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily. I don't have nothing necessarily on this point because I think I think like, as you mentioned, it was extremely straightforward. But that point from earlier in John 11 about the daytime, I was gonna bring that out. Did you have anything else?
That's it.
Okay, so and all praises to the Most High. Extremely well thought out lesson, put together well, and definitely brought home the point. And this is just to add on to again the point about expressions and how these points are conveyed throughout the scriptures, and like why it's extremely important to look at context and also not always just take things for like face value, when you look at a particular text, because there are also, and not to knock brothers and not to like, make it seem as if it's unintelligent or it's baseless, because I mean, people that have this perspective, it comes from a place, obviously, because they're reading it and they believe this is what the text is saying. So I'm gonna read this first in the KJV, John 11 and verse 9. Jesus answered, are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. So if you just isolate that passage, brother will say, well, look, man, a day is 12 hours, brother. Look, Christ said it's 12 hours in a day. And then that's a doctrine. And then they can read, they could, in their mind, read that to you, on the paper. And to a degree, if you just isolate that and just read it in a vacuum, they might have a point. Okay, 12 hours in a day. It says that on the surface. But look at verse 10. And then I'm gonna read it to you in a different translation. But look at verse 10. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. So in the context of John 11 and also Christ, he mentions this 2 chapters earlier. He speaks about, we work while there's light. During the daytime, this is when the light is apparent and you're able to get things done or to work, or you have the opportunity. You know, a lot of times, again, we were speaking about euphemisms. This is typically a euphemism for an opportunity to get something done. So the daytime is when you can do these things, and you know, you won't be stumbling and falling over things because you can't see. You know, again, that's, you know, it can be manifold within the wisdom that you take away. But we see it's juxtaposed from the light and, you know, you being able to see, versus the night and you not being able to see, henceforth you stumbling. Now, look at this in the Net Bible. John chapter 11 verse 9 in the Net Bible. It says, hopefully this is probably extremely hard to see. Let me you able to see this?
Con.
Okay. All praises. So this is John chapter 11 and verse number 9. It says, Jesus replied, "Are there not 12 hours in a day? If anyone walks around in the daytime, he does not stumble, because he sees the light of this world. But if anyone walks around at night, he stumbles because the light is not in him." So again, this, I mean, it pretty much lays out the same, you know, same point in pretty much the same way. But one difference that you should take note of is in the KJV, you don't really see the daytime point highlighted, but in the Net Bible, it makes mention of the daytime right after the 12 hours in the day. So this would actually walk, you know, lock in step with, you know, the context of, you know, what's being spoken about. And this would help represent the idea of 12 hours in a day. You know, so like, again, speaking to the brother's point earlier, you know, a day can, you know, reference, you know, a portion of the day, a full day, you know, the daytime. It all depends on the context. So, you know, I just wanted to bring that point out, because I did make mention of it earlier. And, you know, I just wanted to read it to y'all so y'all could be aware of it, just in case, you know, anybody's not. But all praises to the Most High. A beautiful lesson, King, and I'll pass it back to you.
Con, King, all praise to the Most High. I know I said I didn't have anything else. I want to go back to something I pulled out earlier in Genesis chapter 42, just to kind of bring the point home a little better with that example, because I didn't go into the example and what it was dealing with, but we just gonna read a few of these scriptures, a few of these verses above 17 or 18. Let's read verses 13 through 16. And I'll pick up and read 17 to 18 when you finish.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 42, verse number 13. And they said, "Thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. And Joseph said unto them, that is it that I spake unto you, saying, Ye are spies. Hereby ye shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh, ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely ye are spies."
So I wanted y'all to get the background of what was going on in case you're not familiar with the story. So these are actually Joseph's brother who sold him into slavery, and they started to have a famine, and the dad started to die, and they needed help. And so he told them, okay, I'm going to allow you to go back to your father, but you got to leave somebody with me, and y'all going to have to sit in prison for 3 days.
So it says in verse 16, send one of you and let him fetch your brother, and he shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely you are spies. And verse 17 says, and he put them all together in ward 3 days. So they were put in prison, it says, for 3 days. But in verse 18, it says, and Joseph said unto them the third day, do this and live, for I fear God. Just to go into the point of, because you see for 3 days, it's not 3 24-hour periods, because you had the day that he pronounced this to them, that they went in and they came out on the third day. So they weren't actually imprisoned for 3 days. Not in the way that we in the modern day use, that term of, yeah, man, I went over there for 3 days. It's not actually 3 days. But yeah, all praise to the Most High. That's it. I just wanted to go back into that for a second because I didn't read any more context to that chapter. But yeah, I don't have anything else. If anybody got any comments or any questions, y'all can place them in the chat or any scriptures or anything of that nature. But yeah, I don't have anything inside. And I'll make the announcement again, I guess, about the brother who I mentioned earlier. The brother is looking for donations, y'all, and I placed his Cash App in the chat. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, here it is. And I'll read again for those of you that maybe weren't on at the beginning. And his message, he said what he's asking for is for his family to help him out with a situation ever since he had a heart attack, and he has something called PE, for pulmonary embolism. It should have took him out, but all praise to the Most High that he's still here. And it's been kind of hard on him trying to get bills and food and other things taken care of. So it will be a blessing for the family if they can donate. So if it's on anybody's heart, y'all, that's his Cash App on the screen. But I don't have anything else. If you don't have anything else, you can take us out of here.
All praises to the Most High. Beautiful lesson, King. Yeah, we're going to close it out, if there's nothing further, with Numbers 6 and 24 on down. Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. And with that, I'll say peace and shalom.
Shalom, Mark. Shalom, family.
Have you been washed by the blood? Have you been washed by the blood? Has he made you brand new? Has he made you brand new? Have you been washed by the blood? Have you been washed by the blood? Has he made you brand new? Has he made you brand new? From all of your filth, he cleaned you up. He cleaned you up. Yeah. Was sentenced to death, he raised you up. He raised you up. Yeah, you was a mess, he made you up. He made you up. Yeah. In bed with your sin, was slave to her. Slave to her. Yeah. Embrace you with such an amazing love. Amazing love. Yeah. Exalting his name, you raise it up. You raise it up. No matter how much you praise, can't praise enough. Can't praise enough. Yeah. He said, Hamashiach been washed by the blood. Have you been washed by the blood? Has he made you brand new? Has he made you brand new? Have you been washed by the blood? Have you been washed by the blood? Has he made you brand new? Has he made you brand new? Have you been washed by the blood? From all of your filth, he cleaned you up. He cleaned you up. Yeah. Was sentenced to death, he raised you up. He raised you up. Yeah, you was a mess, he made you up. He made you up. Yeah. In bed with your sin, was slave to her. Slave to her. Yeah. Embrace you with such an amazing love. Amazing love. Yeah. Exalting his name, you raise it up. You raise it up. No matter how much you praise, can't praise enough. Can't praise enough. Yeah. He said, Hamashiach been washed by the blood. Has he made you brand new? Have you been washed by the blood?
Has he made you brand new? Have you been washed by the blood?